So this is interesting, TRVL. So we have to talk about TRVL. We have to talk. And the main reason why we have to talk is because we had an announcement today on Telegram. Dun, 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 dun. Big announcement. Let me read the announcement for everyone. It is the first post by Cynthia in a long time. Cynthia has said, and she is the CEO. She is the CEO of Dtravel. Hey everyone, I wanted to share some changes happening at Dtravel. After a lot of very careful and long deliberation, I have decided to transition out of day-to-day leadership due to personal reasons that require my full attention. It hasn't been an easy decision, as working on Dtravel has been something I love and one of the most rewarding experiences of my career. The mission has been something I've always personally aligned very much with and continue to feel strongly about. TRVL Hoddle, who many of you know, that's Eric, if anyone doesn't know him, will be stepping into the CEO role to lead the next phase of Dtravel's growth, which will be laser focused on growing host adoption, unlocking real travel utility, and creating more value for the community. Eric brings a wealth of experience on the short-term rental side from working at companies like Verbo and NoiseAware, and has played an important role in driving Dtravel's strategic direction since the very early days. Most importantly, he's always shared the same passion and vision I have for Dtravel and the vision of a decentralized community-owned vacation rental ecosystem. Our mission remains the same: to build the most host-empowering, traveler-friendly, and ownership-aligned travel platform in the world. Like, oh my god, that's like the best thing that she has said forever. I'm gonna cut and paste that. It's been such a pleasure and honor getting to know so many of you in the community and to have so many people believe in the same vision. Thank you for all your support and continued support as Dtravel enters its next huge phase of growth, led by Eric and the rest of the team. Formal announcements will be released soon. For now, please welcome Eric to his new role. He and the team are here to answer any questions you may have. And wow, there's a lot of conversations going on here. Oh my god, lots of buying, selling. Yeah. Let's have a look. Buy, 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 buy. Good. We like buying. Buy, buy. Oh, there's a lot of buying here. Oh shit, me. What the hell? Lots of buying. I like to see buying. Oh, I like this. Andrea said something really nice about me. Amir is one of our most loyal community members and the strong voice within the team and hosts, which we value a lot. I'm sure he will be one of thousands that will talk about Dtravel's updates, innovations, and transformative approaches in the rental industry. It's just a time thing. Yes, that's just a time thing. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. I love that. Thank you, Andrea. What else is there here that seems interesting? Sam says something. So over the last 90 or so days, why did the Dtravel Treasury transfer to multiple wallets? Millions of TRVL, some of which are now selling and hence dumping the price. And NSAV says, good spot, Sam. Yes, please provide clarity. Seems conveniently timed with the market finally rising. I'm going to have a look at the price action, aren't I? That's what I always do after I look at all of these messages. Oh, James has said something. Oh, he's just forwarded Cynthia's message. Harry is saying something here. So this is Eric. This is our new CEO. Thank you, Cynthia. I know this wasn't an easy decision, and we all greatly appreciate everything you've done to get Dtravel to this point. For those I haven't met yet, I'm Eric Pace. I've been working behind the scenes at Dtravel since the earliest days. I am both grateful and excited to take on this role, and I want to share a few reasons why. First, a quick note on tokens movement some of you flagged. A private OTC investment matured recently and will release the tokens per the original agreement. The investor appears to have sold after learning about the leadership transition. Unfortunate timing, but ultimately a one-time event that clears the deck. We will not be doing any more pure OTC deals, token deals going forward. I've reached out to the investor to introduce myself and share more about our team's conviction and recent progress, and I wouldn't be surprised if they buy back in on the open market. The good news is that no one from the core team is selling. We're here because we believe in what we're building and we know the best is still ahead. I agree with that 100%. And here he says some more. So why I'm excited to take on this role, here are just a few reasons that stand out. When a founder decides to transition, it can create uncertainty and things can easily fall apart. It happens all the time with startups. Yeah, our team has been incredibly focused and resilient. We haven't skipped a beat and things are ramping up. Huge shout out to Quinn, James, Ty, and Andrea for their leadership during this transition. I can't say enough about the quality of this team, many of which are invisible to the public, but share our passion. We also have a core community of believers like Beard Prince, that's me, Harry, Jack, and Sam, numerous customers that donate their time to help improve the product, and several of our advisors who've all stayed committed even through the bear market, offering time, insight, and conviction. Beard Prince and other customers have even hosted me and my family to help support Dtravel. That's true. Thank you. I'm especially excited about the foundation we've built for property owners, managers, and operators. This part of the product is on the cusp of major growth. The most rewarding aspect of this work is helping small hospitality businesses gain more control over their brand and business. SMBs are the growth engine of the global economy, and what better mission than helping them thrive? I'm equally excited to bring the same sense of ownership to travelers, the customers of those small businesses. That's our next big focus, and this is a pivotal moment for Dtravel, but as Cynthia said, our mission remains the same: to build the most host empowering, traveler friendly, and ownership aligned travel platform in the world. As part of the next chapter, we're forming a new US operating entity, giving us more flexibility to work with strategic partners like Coinbase, releasing our SaaS premium features to operators, and launching traveler focused initiatives that we can't wait to share. I'll be around to answer questions today and over the weekend about myself, the transition, or anything else that's in your mind. On Monday, we shift gears and get back to work. There are big things ahead. I'm fired up to build this next chapter with all of you. Yes, amazing. Thank you. All right, so that's the latest announcement, right? That's the big news. And so let's have a look at the charts and see how that's reflected in the price action. And so I think what people have to understand is that while TRVL can sometimes feel independent from the rest of crypto, the reality is that TRVL is not independent from the rest of crypto. Bitcoin is the tide that rises all boats, and Bitcoin is the tide that collapses all boats. Yeah. So when you're going to get an auction, a failed auction on Bitcoin from all-time highs, that's naturally going to reflect in the rest of crypto. Naturally, you can't avoid it. Yeah. And most tokens, when they get these kind of opportunities, they're buy the dip opportunities. Yeah. So in the same sense, I would argue that this is a buy the dip opportunity. Yeah. But the problem is, do you just buy now, try and catch a falling knife, or do you wait for the price to settle? And if anyone's ever watched my streams, I always say, wait for the price to settle. Don't try to catch a falling knife, because we don't know if this is the bottom or if this is looking to go lower. We just don't know where this is going to bottom out, because we've clearly had a rejection. But on this combined chart, and it's quite interesting because on this combined chart, it looks like we've taken out the weekly high, doesn't it? But there's a caveat to that. It's not happened on every exchange, and I'm going to go through the exchanges. This is Bybit, and you see on Bybit we haven't taken out the high, have we? So it's still a lower high. This is KuCoin. On KuCoin, we've taken out the high. On Gate, we've taken out the high. and on MEXC we've taken out the high. So we've taken out the high on 3 exchanges, but not the 4th one, which is Bybit. 3 out of 4, is that enough? I hope so. Huh? I would argue yes, but I would have obviously been a lot happier if we took out the weekly high on all the exchanges at the same time, not just 3 out of 4 of the major exchanges. And actually what I really wanted to do is I just wanted to have a look at the Bybit volume to just determine which exchange had the most volume. I just want to have a look at the volume here. So that push up was 21 million. 21 million. That was, oh, there you go. So KuCoin had 58 million. So KuCoin had more volume than Bybit, like twice the volume. Gate had 19 million, slightly lower than Bybit. And that's MEXC had about 20 million. So Bybit was the second highest at 21 million, but it was basically neck and neck with Gate and MEXC, while KuCoin was leading the pack with a 58 million volume on that 3 daily candle, which took us to take out that high. So based on that, I would argue that yes, that high is taken. I would say that just based on that, just because most of the volume was on KuCoin and KuCoin did take out that weekly high, I would argue that we have actually now officially changed market structure. Yeah. And I've talked a lot about market structure on TRVL. Now I'll tell you again, this is what I'm expecting. Okay. So as the price was dropping, we were putting lower highs and lower lows, weren't we? Yeah. Until finally we went for a higher high. Then we had a higher low. And now we've just put in a higher high again. Yeah. And when you get a second higher high, that is a confirmation of market structure. And so effectively you're going from a lower low here to a higher high to the first higher low. That's a higher low. And you only know if that's a higher low until we take out the high with another higher high. Effectively what the market is saying is there's not enough sell pressure to put in a new low, but there is enough buy pressure to take out the highs. So the structure changes now. Instead of putting in lower lows and lower highs, we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. Yeah. We just have to keep higher lows now. And so right now, as long as we keep on putting in higher lows, we should be continuing with a bullish structure here. Now, ideally, we don't want to go down too low. We kind of want the price to be around here. The problem is the lower you go, even if you put in a higher low there, even if you put in a lower low and do a V-shaped recovery, the problem is that you're starting to create pump and dump harmonics, which we don't want to see, because we're still, if you go down there and then go up there, you'll get a sell-off again and you're still stuck. So even though you have bullish market structure, what you end up doing is creating a bear flag, and that's not what we want to do. We don't want to create a bear flag in this range, which seems really bullish, but actually it's quite bearish. It feels bullish because you're putting in higher highs and higher lows, but it's actually quite bearish because we're stuck here for a long period of time, and then eventually what happens is that the last time we just can't take out the high, and then you take out the lows, and then it just starts to go down even further. And we don't want to be in that situation. I don't think we are, but I just want to make you aware that that's what can happen in these circumstances. So we've got a really clear rejection, but we have taken out the high, so we're in bullish market structure. I think in that circumstance, I think just let the price settle to buy back in if people have sold, or if people have skimmed out. We're still above the point of control of this local range. We're back into the value area, so we haven't been able to flip the value area into support. That's what you would want to see for continuation. So we're not going to get continuation just yet, just because we've fallen back into the value area. But hopefully we can find support here somewhere for another attempt at the highs, to keep on putting in high highs. Right now, the best place to buy will be the golden pocket area at the point of control area, somewhere between 0.0076 and 0.0072. That's probably the best area to buy in from the current price, which is about 12 to 13% lower than where we are. The problem is that when you get this violent sell-offs, and we know why we had these sell-offs. There was a leadership announcement was changed, and it was announced, change was announced, and a couple of long-term investors decided to exit. Okay, that's all it really was. It's not the market selling, it's just a couple of whales basically dumping their tokens. Again, this is an opportunity for anyone who hasn't accumulated or hasn't bought into TRVL. This is a real opportunity to buy at discount prices after a confirmed market structure change, and maybe the same investors will buy back in because they can get it at 20% cheaper than they originally sold. And if I was them, I probably would. I'd probably wait for it to settle and buy right back in. That being said, I would like the price to kind of settle here for an attempt, which I was talking about. If you remember, I was talking about an inverse head and shoulders. That's your head, and this is your right shoulder. So this is what I'm imagining. This is what I've been talking about from the beginning of July the 6th when I started streaming. The idea of an inverse head and shoulders with a complicated head, a two-pronged head. We've now taken out the neckline. We've now changed market structure. What I want to see now is a really slight shoulder for another breakout, and then we can have a really nice inverse head and shoulders breakout. And then if we do get that kind of breakout, I'll be looking for the same distance basically as the neckline, all the way up to 3 cents on a breakout, right back into the original range. That would be like the real target. That would be the target for that inverse head and shoulders breakout, back into the range, back into the 2 cents range. That would be really bullish. It could still be bearish because you could still be putting in lower highs, but that would be a really good kind of exit point for a lot of people who've been holding these lows, with the view of reaccumulating back into this range. And then the reaccumulation would be to defend 2 cents if possible. And ideally, that's what you want. You don't really want to go low. If you start going lower, then obviously everything changes again because the range changes. Okay. But in this move, I'm kind of thinking to myself, if we could break out put in a right shoulder here and break out of an inverse head and shoulders to higher prices back into that overall range. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, and we just have to see what happens next. Let's have a look at the different candles. Let's have a look at the monthly candle. So already we've nearly had as much volume as the previous month, as you can see. It's looking to be a green candle. I hope it's green because that would confirm the reversal. We don't want a red candle. We really want a green candle here. And yeah, the weekly looks like a rejection here, but let's see how this plays out, because we don't know how this weekly red candle is going to end. Arguably, if it closes red like that, but it's kind of like that, it could still be good. I really want this weekly candle to close above the previous week 50 fib. For me, that would be okay. Any close above the previous week 50 fib would be okay. It'd still be quite bullish to do that. It would be a bearish candle with a bullish close. If we start drooping and closing much lower, like down there, then we are looking at a weekly reversal, and we may end up going lower to go higher. And we don't know how this is going to play out. So let's just see what happens this weekend with Bitcoin and crypto, and how this plays out. It doesn't look like it wants to go down anymore. I think a lot of people, actually, to be honest with you, I think the leadership change is really bullish news, because guess what? And not to be critical of one person in particular, but during the whole leadership of the previous regime, we've only gone down and down and down. You can see down and down and down and down. Yeah. And now we've got leadership change. We're expecting some other changes, aren't we? We're expecting this whole pattern to change. There's a big shift in TRVL and Dtravel right now, and the leadership is a really important part of that. I know Eric personally and his family. He's come to London and stayed at my properties. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better leader at this time. Extremely hardworking, very, very, very smart and visionary about the future. Crypto expert. He knows almost everything about crypto, and also he knows almost everything about the short-term vacation rental industry. Literally the right person at the right time, with a lot of energy, ready to take this to where we want it to be. I've talked to Eric personally so many times, and honestly, we're looking at all-time highs. We are literally, that's the only conversation we have when him and I speak. How to get the price of TRVL to $1.56. That's really what we're aiming for. You know, like, we're on the same page and on the same mission for what we need to achieve. So let's see what happens. All right. I don't have anything else to say about TRVL except waiting for the price to settle, and maybe we're just forming a right shoulder here after we change market structure on the weekly time frame. Once we form our right shoulder, we can get a really nice buyback, and then we can really push the price to 3 cents. Really, that's where I'm aiming for, 3.1 cents from the current price. That would be maybe a 350% increase in value. That's kind of where my mind is at right now, unless we see something that changes that. I think that's the highest probability scenario. And it takes time sometimes with TRVL to play out. Right now, this 3 monthly candle is starting to look extremely bullish. Increasing volume green candle. We've already gone up to clear the liquidity. It's being sold into however this candle ends up, it's looking to be really bullish. It can either end up as an inverse hammer, or it can end up as a piercing candle, or it can end up as a bullish engulfing candle. It's looking really bullish, this 3 monthly candle. And so I just want to make you aware of it. We've got 1 month and 16 days to go. Yeah, so we still have time, and hopefully we can get higher prices and continuation. Let's have a look at this monthly candle. Again, with this monthly candle, there's 16 days there. There's still 2 weeks to go. I do want it to be green. That's all. That's the only condition. I just want it to be green. And maybe we will see green, because at the moment, if this price holds on this weekly candle, it's not looking bearish. It'll get more bearish if we start going lower, but let's see what happens. Hopefully people are sending limit orders to absorb the selling. All right. That's my TRVL update. If you like the video and you've liked my content, hopefully subscribe or share or like or comment. And I'll be doing TRVL again on Sunday, and then Tuesdays, and then Fridays. I'll try and announce it next time. I've been a little bit busy here in El Salvador. I'm just settling into El Salvador again, and I'm here on a mission to expand the Dtravel network to El Salvador, and this is what I'm focused on right now. All right. So hopefully have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend, and let's just